Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for watching this recording. We are really excited to share information with you about our fast track programs in the Bass School. And I want to thank everybody who made this session possible, particularly Pia, who really organized much of the information here, along with Irene Marroquin from the undergraduate team. So thanks, everybody, for being here. Why get a master's degree? How could a master's degree be useful to you? Um, you can see that studies show that advanced degrees will improve your career opportunities in the future, no matter what you choose to do, and increase your earning potential as well. So earning a master's degree in this kind of abbreviated timeline is a really smart choice. If you love, what you're doing as an undergraduate student and you think you want to continue, whether you want to stop at the master's level and go ahead and with that degree out into the world with increased opportunities for success, and especially if you're interested in doing a PhD. Anyone who's interested in doing a PhD could really benefit from this period in graduate studies right here as an undergraduate student at UT Dallas. And I will say, I want to make sure that you don't feel intimidated by taking graduate classes here at UT Dallas. We see undergraduate students have incredible success in the graduate classroom, and you'll really learn if this is the right fit for you as well. So we really want you to know that this is an excellent opportunity. It's a really unique program here at UT Dallas, and it's something to consider taking advantage of.
Thank you. And let's get off to a great start with Irene. If you want to tell us about what Fast Track is and who it's for.
Hey. Hi, everyone. My name is Irene Marroquin. I'm the Director of Advising for the undergraduate students. Today, we're going to talk to you about the Fast Track program, and the process of admission and the different programs that are offered. So the Fast Track option enables qualified senior undergraduate students to include master's level courses in their undergraduate degree plans as they work towards a master's degree at UT Dallas. So what this means is you can take graduate courses during your last semesters as an undergrad to move into a graduate program if you're admitted. Next slide, please. So is Fast Track right for me? So these are some of the things you want to kind of think about. So the Harry W. Bass Jr. School of Arts, Humanities, and Technology Fast Track program offers a path for qualified Bass School undergraduates to begin work on a master's degree before graduation. So this is a benefit. Also, if you're still an undergraduate student but taking graduate courses, you're paying undergrad tuition for the graduate courses. So it is a benefit in that aspect. So I really encourage you to take advantage of this program if this is something you want to pursue. So we look at qualified seniors in the program. You're allowed to take up to 15 hours of approved graduate courses in the school during your senior year. So you have to be within 30 hours of graduation. So that means you have to have completed at least 90 credit hours to be at that point. So which apply to, and so these courses, they apply to your undergraduate degree plans as either major related or prescribed electives or just elective courses in general. So you would get with your undergraduate advisor and kind of plan ahead. If you have free electives, you can use those or use them as prescribed electives. So we would kind of work with you to see which is the best plan for you. Next slide, please. So fast track admission. So the requirements again are you need to be a senior standing at the end of the spring term with 90 or more earned hours, a minimum of 36 hours of the university core curriculum completed. So you want to make sure you have that area of your degree completed and at least a 3.5 GPA in the major. So those are the basic requirements that are needed. So then we talk about the application. There is an application that you must fill out. You would get that from your undergraduate advisor or online on our website, and you would fill out the form with kind of review it with your undergraduate advisor. You need a statement of purpose indicating preparation and motivation for graduate study, like what is your interest in the program you're pursuing, and kind of your interest in what you want to do. Please make sure you have 2 letters of recommendation from Bass School faculty who know your work. So you want to make sure that you get to know your instructors so that they can write these letters of recommendation for you for the program you wish to pursue. You would need to include an unofficial transcript, and you can get one of those in Orion in your student center. If not, you can contact your undergrad advisor, and we can assist you with on how to print that out for you for your application. And then some of the programs do have specific materials that you need to include with your application. So you want to make sure that you have all those requirements met. Just look at the website on the fast track process for admission, and it'll indicate which programs require additional material. Okay, next slide. So these are just the minimum requirements. You can find these in the catalog as well, or on our website. These are the minimum requirements again. Minimum cumulative, that means overall GPA of a 3.0 in both undergraduate and graduate careers. These are for the fast track. Satisfy all program requirements while maintaining good academic standing. That means you can't, get on probation or anything, or get below a certain grade in certain courses. You may not repeat a single master's level course more than one time, and students may repeat only 3 master's level courses at a maximum of one time for up to 3 courses, including withdrawals. So you want to look at that. All attempted coursework, including withdrawals, are repeats. So remember, if you do withdraw and have a W, that's counted as a repeat and will be included in the student's graduate record and transcript. And again, you can take up to 15 semester credit hours, and we kind of talked about that a little bit already. And then the university recommends that fast track students take no more than 2 graduate courses per semester, because you are taking your undergraduate credit, and graduate courses require a little bit more work. So you want to make sure you're going to be successful in both your undergraduate and graduate career. So depending on your course load, you want to kind of discuss that with your advisor and make sure that you're taking the right amount of courses. And then when enrolled in a combination of graduate and undergraduate courses, just make sure those balance your course load. Again, you would receive advising from undergraduate and graduate program advisors, because the undergrads would undergraduate advisors will talk about the undergraduate degree requirements, and the graduate program will help you with what are the requirements for the graduate program. Let's see. And then it talks about students wishing to register for more than 19 credit hours in a long semester, that's fall and spring, or 15 semester credit hours in the summer must follow the course load guidelines in the undergraduate catalog. So you can find the maximum number of courses, hours that you can take. If at any time a fast track student fails to satisfy any of these requirements, you'll be withdrawn from the fast track program. And so once withdrawn from the program, any previously completed graduate coursework will only apply to your undergraduate degrees. So say you don't meet the requirements, we can still count them towards your undergraduate degree, but they wouldn't go towards fast track. So each individual academic program determines the application of courses towards the undergraduate and graduate degree requirements, and the academic program must also establishes the maximum number of credit hours allowed for the fast track. So you just want to make sure you kind of understand these requirements for fast track before you move on into the program. Okay, next. Okay, and here's a listing of our undergraduate advisors. We do have our advisors assigned by majors and by last name. So you have Jacob Crabtree, Nazarene Hassan, Suzanne Shota, and Helena Frisia and Jasmine Roberts. They do animation and games and ATech. And then it has my name there under the director of advising, but then we have Cynthia Latta for literature, and Blair Taylor, who advises for history, Latin American studies, philosophy, visual and performing arts. So our information is also on our website. You can also find the link to schedule appointments with your advisor, and their emails. Okay.
And Irene, we talked about this a little bit. When should students start reaching out to their advisor? I mean, you can do that if you're a freshman, but when does it become a little bit more urgent to start figuring out if this is something for you?
Probably the last semester of the junior year, right before they're going into their senior year, just so we can understand the requirements. I kind of say we kind of talk about it at the beginning when you're a freshman, throughout the process, just to make sure if you want to use some of those courses towards prescribed electives, free electives, you kind of plan ahead. But definitely the last semester of your junior year before you want to go, you meet the 90 hours requirement, sorry, just so that you have the application and everything and kind of plan ahead for the courses that you want to take.
And you give the faculty some time to write those letters.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. That's why it's important to get to know the faculty, even in your undergrad courses, 'cause some of them may be teaching graduate courses, but just kind of getting to know your faculty members so that you can utilize them for your reference letters and letters of recommendation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Irene. I wanted to share a couple of quotes from students who have done fast track or taken graduate classes as undergraduate students. And from both of these, you can see, and this jives with what I've heard from other students, that it's really helpful to figure out graduate school can seem imposing and a little bit scary. And as it turns out, most of the students who do fast track really enjoy it, and it makes them comfortable knowing that this is something that they're ready for, that they enjoy, and that they turn out to be really good at. And let's talk a little bit about what you can do as a fast track student. And Irene, I believe this is correct, that you can be in one undergraduate program and fast track into a different graduate program. So you can be an undergraduate major in literature and fast track into the MA in philosophy. You need to have a sense of when you're doing that the classes you take are going to fit on both of your degree plans. That's going to be a little bit harder. But here are the programs that you can do. The MA in Art and Technology, the MA in History, the MA in Humanities, MA in Literature, Visual and Performing Arts, Art History, Latin American Studies, and Philosophy. And we have some people here representing those different programs. I know, for instance, that we have Charles Hatfield here. Would you say a word about fast tracking into the literature program?
Thanks, Pia. I think this is a really great opportunity for students who are thinking about a master's to get a master's with faculty that they already have good, close, productive relationships with. You already know UTD and love UTD. You already know your faculty members, and you can essentially get a master's degree in a BA and an MA in 5 years. If you decided to finish your degree at UTD and get a master's elsewhere, you'd be talking about 6 years of work. So there are so many advantages to sticking around and pursuing fast track, and obviously we'd love to have you.
Thank you. We also have here Mark Rosen, who's the program head for the Art History MA.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit in the dark here, but you might see me in the shadows. But very similar to what Charles is saying, we have a lot of students who continue on to do the MA in Art History. We have our own office suite in the ATEC building, which offers carrels to all of our MA students as places to study. We have generous research funding, so a lot of our students who are doing MA theses, I mean, all of them do them, have the opportunity to travel, and we help support them on those travels. We have 4 full-time and 2 part-time people who teach for us. We don't teach everything, but we teach, if you're familiar with our program or want to be familiar with our program, certainly sit in on something that we're doing at the undergraduate level right now, so you have a sense of what we do. But one of the things that makes the MA program unique is that the thesis is a substantial piece of work. The last semester of the MA tends to be dedicated solely to writing. And so we produce really good scholars out of that, including somebody that you saw in one of the recent slides, Nita Jaffer, who was quoted, is finishing her MA right now. She's about to defend, and she's going to start a PhD at Brown in art history in the fall. So we're really proud of her. So we've had success also with students coming out of the program, going on to PhDs either at UT Dallas, but also at other places. So I'd be happy to answer any of your questions as well. You can always find me on the UTD page to email. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So the other program heads are not here right now, but there will be a slide at the end with their contact information if you want to hear directly from them about Fast Track. So there are a number of programs you can Fast Track into. And I thought I'd give some details on what it means to do graduate work rather than undergraduate work. It is a little bit different. So most of the MA programs are between 33 and 36 hours. So that's 11 to 12 classes. And that's what some undergraduates take in one semester at the undergraduate level. But graduate study, 9 hours is full time. So you're expected to spend a little bit more time reading, a little bit more time thinking, a little bit more time writing for each of the classes. Most of the programs have a professional option where you just take classes, and then there's usually a thesis or portfolio option where you do something more substantial in terms of a project or paper. The average required GPA at the graduate level is a B. You can get a C and survive, but the average must stay at a B or above. So 9 hours a semester is full-time. All classes at the graduate level, or all of our classes at the graduate level, meet once a week for 3 hours. So it's a long chunk where you will have much fewer lectures than you do on the undergraduate level and more discussion. You will also find there are many fewer or almost none exams, and you will write papers, short papers, long papers, intermediate papers, occasionally a presentation or creative work, depending on the class, but plan to write quite a bit. Here is a sample degree plan for you to look at. You can see that this is from the MA in Humanities, 11 classes, some required classes, and a fair number of electives. The programs have different numbers of organized courses and the balance with electives, but there will be fewer specific requirements than at the undergraduate level, where you may have to take something that is pre-1600 and something else that is 20th century and something that is international and something that isn't. So you have specific classes or electives, generally speaking, for the graduate level. Pulled up some sample classes, and there are many more that you can find, of course, in Coursebook. If you go to Coursebook and plug in the school and then hit graduate for the level of studies that you can do. There's usually about 55 to 60 graduate level classes each semester in the various disciplines. We recommend that students who go into Fast Track start by taking a class with somebody they've already gotten to know at the undergraduate level. You know something about how they teach and how they communicate, and it might be easier for you to see how the graduate work is different than what is required at the undergraduate level. Some of the programs, I think literature, and I know specifically art history, they build in the students into the graduate program, so you're considered in some ways already part of the graduate cohort when you start Fast Track, taking the classes that the people who are starting the graduate program that semester are taking. But talk to your advisors about that. And to do that, well, here are the contacts for our graduate programs. You have the program heads on the left, and on the right, you have the graduate advisors. Heather Bowling for art history, Kelly Erb for literature, Lair Lenski-Jackson for the art and technology MA programs, and me for the other Bass School programs. Do reach out to us, and that leads us to what you should be doing now. talk to your advisor. Start with your undergraduate advisor. See if you're eligible, if this is something you might be interested in. Then reach out to your graduate advisor. Or if you're not sure what program you want, talk to several of us to learn about the program requirements, what classes are available, and how to think about what you're doing. Then collect the documents, reach out to your faculty to get letters of recommendation, make sure you have everything, coordinate with your undergraduate advisor, and apply. Once you're admitted, you will need to coordinate between the undergraduate and your graduate advisor as you go. And then when you graduate with your bachelor's degree, you will be matriculated into the graduate program and be a full-time graduate student. I think with that, we end. Thank you very much for tuning in, and please reach out to us and we'll tell you more. If you're at UTD already, stay on longer. If you're not, come here and see what we're doing. Thank you all.
Whoosh.
Whoosh.